DUI, driving while under the influence of an intoxicating substance, has been with this society since the advent of the automobile, and until recent years, it went unnoticed by a disinterested public. However, the statistics are overwhelming. The Department of Transportation estimates that half the fatalities on American roadways are alcohol-related, that 1 out of every 15 drivers in a given area is intoxicated after 5 p.m., and that number doubles and sometimes triples during weekends and holidays. Also, a recent study noted that despite a nationwide state-by-state inauguration of tougher DUI laws, that more than 3/4 of all arrests made for DUI are second or third offenders. The scenario is a familiar one, and as do most criminal offenses, it depends largely on the first level of judicial discretion, the police officer. Police officers are working the evening shift become more and more attentive to what drivers do as the night wears on. In fact, most DUI arrests occur after 10 p.m. First, the officer looks for probable cause, a driver who is driving too fast, too slow, crossing a center line, or one who is traveling without headlights or fails to use his turn signals properly. Upon pulling the suspect over, the officer notes odor, slurred speech, bloodshot eyes, or even difficulty obtaining the driver's license as the signs of an intoxicated driver. If the officer wishes and the suspect complies, the officer may conduct a field sobriety test, in which the suspect may have to accomplish everything from a hand-to-nose exercise, walking a straight line, to completing a recitation of the alphabet. If the suspect chooses not to participate in the sobriety test, he is then taken to the police station where a breath, blood, or urine test is given. One of these alcohol level tests are administered to everyone suspected of DUI, which includes those that fail the field sobriety test. In fact, these tests produce the evidence that convictions often stem from. Nonetheless, these too can be waived by the suspect, which in most states, including Illinois, constitutes an automatic suspension of one's driving privileges. In Illinois, DUI is a Class A misdemeanor, with a maximum penalty of a $1,000 fine and up to a year in jail. Repeat offenders who are convicted will serve a mandatory 2-day jail term and a maximum of 5 years in jail. Depending on the suspect, DUI convictions can pose serious threats not only to the retention of one's driving privileges for their livelihood, but to the livelihood of the victims as well. The concern of the police department is that people aren't really aware of the severity of the problem.
People who are drunk do get in more accidents, and their accidents tend to be a more serious accident than the people who aren't drunk. And when they're involved in an accident, quite often, the individual who is drunk is not the one that's hurt. It's the other people that are involved in the accident. And that's probably the biggest concern, I think, of everybody, is just the traffic hazard that they pose. And people really don't realize how poorly they drive when they are drunk.
Welcome to another edition of Inquiry, Current Issues. Tonight's topic is DUI, driving under the influence, with discussions on the severity of drunken driving, the rights of the individual arrested, and the significance of courtroom procedures. Our guests include David Watt, Jackson County Circuit Judge, Stan Irvin, Jackson County Assistant State's Attorney, Jeff Emel, Substance Abuse Counselor, Steve Applegate, Jackson County Assistant Public Defender, and Judy Wood, member of Jackson County RID. We encourage calls from our viewing audience. Now for your host, Marvin Kleinow.
Good evening. Listen 50 to 40.